Pleased to meet you. This is Fixed and Folded, the knife review channel for the casual knife collector. I'm Cody, and I'm going to be reviewing this interesting knife, the double extra large steel will Barghest. Okay, so steel will knives are manufactured in China. The knife designer for this one says Varenji. This model is the F37 and the blade steel is in D2. You have textured G10 with some milling here. You've got G10 backs or some powder material polymer or G10 backspacer here. It wraps all the way around and provides some substantial jimping that's not uncomfortable but effective at gripping. You've got some mild jimping on the thumb area and some mild jimping on the liner lock. Overall, the handle shape is well designed for a secure, relatively comfortable grip. It feels blocky, but there are no sharp edges. It's being rounded off, including on the inside of the liner. There's no sharp edges. Blade came perfectly centered out of the box. You have thumb stud deployment and flipper. The blade shape is a mild drop point with a high flat grind. What do you call that? High saber grind with an unsharpened swedge on the top. It's a good all-around utilitarian blade shape. The piercing and slicing with the cutting edge has been excellent. The price on this thing is $107 Canadian on bladescanada.com for this. They just call this the Barghest. And then the other Barghest is a little bit smaller. It's still probably extra large size or full size for $10 less, $97. And that price point makes this really compelling because you're getting a decent steel in D2 with really good cutting edge geometry and a knife that's a really, this is huge. This is bigger than extra large. So materials for price and fit and finish, this makes this compelling. There are a couple of drawbacks on this knife. You have a deep carry pocket clip here with a pronounced bill at the end. Creates a minor hot spot. It's not uncomfortable, but I think for prolonged heavy use without gloves, this will dig into the palm, create a bit of a hot spot. So that's one negative. Also, the action has been interesting, and I've watched other reviews of the Barghest, and it seems to be a running theme that the action on these is hit and miss. When I first got this, the action was gritty. There was some material in between the bronze washers that was providing some, you could hear or feel a bit of grittiness in the action. Other than that, the action was good. You could thumb deploy it easily and flick it, but it just you could hear some grittiness or feel some grittiness. So I took this apart. I put some rubbing alcohol on it and then put some lubricant, and now the grittiness is gone, but the detent is stiff to the point where it deploys with the flipper well, but sometimes, or even most of the time, the thumb stud is really, that's a lot of resistance to deploy it. Okay, there I can do a reverse thumb flick, but half the time it's just too much detent to, it takes just a lot of pressure to deploy it. And I've heard other reviews say that you've got grittiness out of the box sometimes. Sometimes you have a really heavy detent, and other times it's great. So I'm going to say inconsistent. What would you call that? Inconsistent action with the, yeah, I'd call it inconsistent deployment action from the box. So, gosh, I don't know what I might have to take this apart again and maybe sand the washers and lube it again. But yeah, the detent now is really stiff. So those are the two detractors of this knife. Is a bit of a hot spot here. I think with some pliers you could do some magic with this and bend this out, smooth it out, lower it, and then get rid of that hot spot. So, you know, I'm going to call this a minor complaint. It's fixable. And then this also, I mean, if you have some knife knowledge with working with folding knives, you're able to take this apart and put some work into it. I'm sure you could get the action on this to where you're happy with it, but for a casual person, for someone who's new to knives, if you try and find one in a store, handle one in person and get one with the action that's really really smooth and easy, because otherwise you'll have some issues with this. I guess another minor complaint is just the shape of the flipper. You can see it's not rounded. It's actually almost sharp here, and it has some jimping, which is a bit pronounced. Let's see if you can see the jimping on there. It's significant to the point where it's a little uncomfortable. So other than the minor complaint here, the significant complaint with the inconsistent action, and I'd call this another minor complaint. It's not a perfect design, but it does have other strengths. I think the visual design of it is very good. The utility of the blade, the implementation of the cutting edge is excellent. It's a cool size. It's really big. This is the biggest. Oh man, this has to be tied with the biggest folding knife I've ever owned or used, up to what's that other enormous one from that American company that just makes enormous knives? It was like a $1,300 folding knife. Oh, now I got to think of that company. But yeah, I mean, the Medford Fighter, the Medford Fighter knife. That was about the same as this for ridiculously large and also ridiculously cool. I think you need at minimum a size large hand to, you know, get a full purchase on this. I have extra large hands. I think if you have double extra large hands, you're going to be liking this. So you need big hands to, you know, to get all the use out of this. If you have medium sized hands, this is going to be too big. This is just going to be, your hand's going to be floating all around this. You do have a nice finger guard here with the design, where your finger is locked in. It's not going to go up for piercing and get cut on the blade. And you do have a usable size of foot choil. There's no jimping on the blade here, but there is a bit of a thumb rest. I think it's designed to be a finger rest or just a muscle memory spot or something for draw cutting, but you can also use it here, rest your thumb on, and this feels pretty safe. I mean, yes, technically there is some cutting edge there, but because the handle is thick and you got this little rest here, I think you could pretty safely trigger pull this and not get your finger cut if you're careful if you really want to get up close for some fine control. Size comparisons. Start with the medium-sized knife and work up. So I have extra large hands, and I still have room off the back of this Benchmade bug out. You can see this thing's ginormous. We'll quickly go up the size scale. This is between medium and full size. There's a lot of knives in this size, like the Spyderco Tenacious. Benchmade Griptilian is around this size. This is the Kaiser Escort, ginormous. Go up to a full size, which is Spyderco PM2, Benchmade Freak, that sort of a size. Benchmade, what's that other one? Anyway, there's of course a lot of the Ontario Knives Rat 1. And this is ginormous. Go to my extra large size knife. This is CJRB Pyrite Large, which I consider extra large, and ginormous. I'd say, yeah, geez, hand real estate is a little bit larger on this one, and the blade, this is a full 4-inch cutting edge blade, where this is more of a 4-inch total length with finger choil here, so you're only getting about 3.5 inches of actual cutting edge, where you get a full 4 inches of cutting edge here. Big boy. And then just, this is known for being designed for EDC use, so you got a thin handle for pocket carry, where this is just a beast. I mean, you're looking at like small fixed blade knife category for this, like hunting knife thing. This is like almost bridging that gap between folding knife and fixed blade for size. So this is just, I don't know, cool. Is it practical to carry for EDC? No. But can you do it? Yeah, you can do it. Let's just, for fun, let's do a pocket test. So I use exclusively 511 pants, not because I'm sponsored by them, but just because they're a great pant for me and what I use. I've got front pockets that I can use, just designate for knives or flashlights that don't, because it's a designated front pocket, it doesn't rub against keys or phones or anything like that, or wallets. So you got the main side pockets there, and then these designated front pockets. These are 5.5 inches deep, and let's see if this fits in here. Just fits in there all the way. So this is about a 5.5 inch handle. Then we're talking like just a 1/16 of an inch between this and the top of my pants. So big boy. For the price makes this compelling. Even with these little flaws, the price is so good for a nice knife of this size and cutting ability. Decent blade material, D2 is in the middle somewhere of blade steel for decent edge retention, okay toughness. It's a semi-stainless, it's not full stainless, so when this gets wet, dry it off. The finish is medium polish, medium shine satin polish. It does fingerprint easily. It's not extremely shiny. It's somewhere in the middle, but nice tuxedo look. Okay, so for most people, you're going to want to size down, and you're going to want to go with the full-size Barghest, which is about an inch shorter. This overall is like 9.5 inches. You're going to want to go with the 8.5 inch one for most people. Maybe me, maybe even I might get one like that for 97 bucks Canadian. Like, these prices are decent. So what am I going to rate this overall? Price is great. It's heavy. It's partially skeleton or partially milled liners on the back side. The liner is partly milled, and on the front side where the liner lock is, it's not milled. So this is on the heavy side. Yeah, something like I'm going to give this knife a B. I'm going to give this knife a rating of a B. Some people are going to love this knife. Some people are going to have some issues with the action, maybe the sharpness on the thumb area, but you're going to probably have to massage this out with some pliers if you're going to be planning to do some extended work without gloves. But as a starting knife that you're going to want to do probably a couple little things to, this is a cool work on me knife. Yeah, I like it. I don't love it. I'll give this a rating of B. That concludes my review of the Steel Will Barghest 9.5 incher, and hope you all have a great day. I will see you soon.